You know, I've been thinking about this commandment to honor your mother and father, and I've been thinking about what that means. I read this book called Angela's Ashes by Frank McCourt, and Frank had a really alcoholic father, like an Irish alcoholic father back in the 40s. Oh yeah, and he drank every cent the family had, and they lived in terrible poverty.
Wow,
and his
disease.
sister died, and it was rough. But he said his father was often sober in the morning, and he established a relationship with good morning sober father, and kind of put alcoholic, drunken, nighttime father in a different bin, and he could get the benefit of having a father in consequence of that. And that honoring, that's also something that you want to do within a marriage, right? Because your wife is your friend and your lover, but she's also your wife, and you're her husband, and that means that a part of keeping that marriage working is honor. And part of the honor is that you don't do that sort of thing in public.
Right.
You know,
right.
Because,
you don't humiliate each
and
other.
And
you
that's,
don't fight in public.
Well, that's also in some ways independent. In a way, it's independent of who your wife or husband is. It's like, you could imagine two people fighting in public, and one of them or both of them really deserving to have that fight as people. But then to keep the marriage intact, you have to remember, well, this is my wife. She's not just my friend. She's not just someone I know. She's my wife. And we shouldn't be doing primate dominance hierarchy maneuvering in public. We shouldn't be competing for power, because that's going to destroy the marriage. So that's part of that honoring, I think, is to remember the role and to keep it, sacred is really right, sacrosanct.
Here's another one. Don't ever insult each other, even though you want to. You want to be mean sometimes. People get mean to you, you want to be mean back. I don't do that with my friends, so I don't do that with anyone else. I don't want to do that. That's why I don't do it online. I don't get involved in these hissy pissy fits online, particularly on Twitter. I just don't think
it's the prime place for such things.
That's all it is. First of all, again, as someone who looks at everyone like a child or like a baby, I'm not angry that people do that. I understand the appeal of it. If I was 15 and Twitter was around, I would be tweeting at every fucking celebrity saying, you're a loser, jump in front of a bus. I would say things just to try to get a reaction out of them. I think a lot of kids do. I think a lot of people don't feel like they have a voice, and one way to be heard is to be insulting, and one way to hurt is to be negative.